more peaceful than ever. Life's becoming even more smoother, and our region and our area is opening up even more. And West Australia have basically broken ahead of everyone else and opening things right up. So I like what we're doing, and I like the spiritual work. And there is no coincidences. And yesterday I was sitting there with a spiritual healer and leader who I work with, who gives me a lot of my codes and activation sequences. And she said to me, Warren, you know, everything is precise and everything lines up with the frequency of the people that are there and the consciousness, you know that. So I said, absolutely. And where she lives is Las Vegas, for example, where right now they're in the heart of a whole lot of stuff that's going on in America. And she said, well, where we are, it's peaceful as heck. Nothing's happening. Life goes on. She said, it's like our suburb is completely isolated from everything going on, because she obviously does similar work to do this in her own way. So the point is that right now, okay, so just got to make sure we mute people. Fabulous. Yep. So great. So thanks again for coming and for all the great work everyone's doing here. I really do appreciate that, because there's no question that one of the guys who taught me a lot was a guy called Raymond Grace, who really talked about making the world a better place. And to the point where his energy work has become so successful that local sheriffs in Virginia privately see him and ask him to help them, help catch serial killers, catch people, and do energy work to douse where they are and to clear energy over areas. So that's when you really start to know that you're hitting new levels. And Raymond, regularly, they do things like that. I can remember when I learned to work with Raymond, and I first learned about these towers and Wi-Fi and started learning how to neutralize them with energy. And the other day I was over getting a homeopathic check, and yeah, pretty much EMS does not affect me in the slightest, is what it shows. Like, my body is absolutely not affected at all in any way, shape and form. So the great thing about this is you can start with transforming your life, then your family's life, and then your region's life, and really, like you said, make a very big difference in your region and in your area. So we've obviously, I'm speaking to what's already happened. So let's just start to run through what we've covered today and just have a quick reminder. So again, just feel completely free. Just as an update, we are in the process of getting some membership sites set up for our Revolution, City Awakening Revolution, which is going to have a section for the Knights of the Holy Cross recording. So this way, once we've got that set up in the next week or two, it'll be very easy just to go in there and access those recordings and trainings. So we are going to get more and more away from Facebook and just about anything else and have our own stuff. So revision from last time, we mentioned a lot of the Dark Masters attack and demons, and there's no question. I mean, there's just so much spiritual activity. And as I watch those riots in America, I just shake my head, and Grace and I were talking about it, and I was like, far out. It's like the hordes of hell have just been let loose to do what they want. And exactly what the Council of Nine told me would happen, and what they told me last year in about October. And a very, you know, reliable prophet who I know and who I was told by the Council of Nine was actually very aligned with them, who I spent some time discussing with, sent a message in October where he was almost weeping in his message, saying, the timing is beginning and it's starting now. It's basically what's coming upon this planet. And pretty much since shortly after that, it began. So the one thing the councils told me was just literally, yes, we can create an ascension protected portal and create something that can actually shift the spirit and the energy in our communities. So basically here we deal with this spirit picture here is of the spirit of Leviathan, for example, and these Dark Masters attack to get people thinking 3D, focusing on 3D. And as I spoke this morning in our Sunday, there's a natural law of gravitation and density which pulls us back onto this earth, into this matter. And karmically that applies as well. So if we basically die without having shifted our karma and cleansed ourselves out, the gravitational pull and the heavy matter and the unresolved things in our life just pull us back to basically go through it again. So Dark Masters attack, as we shared about knowing these karmic loopholes, they unfortunately know higher law. And this morning, those who are on our parables teaching are running of Jesus, where Jesus specifically told his disciples that one of the reasons that he taught in parables and in riddles was to keep it from the dark and from the realms who otherwise would use it in reverse. So NLP, for example, is used heavily in reverse, and by doing that can manipulate minds. There's military grade technology, unfortunately, which I've been learning more about, that's just used where they can give brain fog, brain cloud, make you feel tired for no reason, make you feel heavy, sleepy. And this was something that I said about this US situation. I said, there's no doubt we've got to first look after for those in Australia, for those in the US, look after your area, because unfortunately, people having guns and running around never ends well, especially in a world where maybe 240 years ago, in George Washington's time, guns were a powerful weapon. But now we have military grade technology that literally is so powerful that people could have their frequencies tampered with. So unfortunately, they can tamper with people's frequencies quite extensively. And they can do all kinds of things to your mind and your thoughts and your brains. They can tamper with your etheric realm. They can tamper with your morphogenetic chakras. And most people who are healers don't even know about the morphogenetic. They only know about the 7 chakras. And then beyond that, there's even more chakras. So there's another realm of celestial chakras as well. So there's all kinds of different realms that these beings who do this are very aware of. Now I'm having to minimize it because I can't actually see these chat comments, so that's why. So I've mentioned about these things previously, mind control implants, and that's why we're doing a lot of this kind of stuff now. And William and I are in fact starting an ultimate cleanse and shadow work release program over the next little while. That will be a paid program we're doing just for a lot of our clients. If anyone's interested in hearing more, just as an aside, just message me privately. But yeah, we are actually doing some fairly advanced stuff to do with this kind of stuff. But so rituals and incantations used, beaches, circles, the 7 highest places in the region, blood sacrifices. So as it is, they can do a lot of damage just with this kind of stuff. So hence why a lot of his teachings are in riddles and parables. So we went through all of this stuff. We went through the 4 curses that are used in Zechariah and other books, like about the stealing, the false witness, and the terror, and the others. And the main thing I've explained is that curses are a double-edged sword. And the good thing is of a curse is that an undeserved curse cannot come to rest. So Jesus said in Luke 11, verse 23, he that is not for me is against me, and he that gathers not with me scatters. It's very interesting right now. I don't know, little things have been flashing across my peripheral vision today. And I'm just curious. Has anybody here ever had that, like they see spirits or they have things flash across their consciousness or anything like that? So there's no question right now. Christine Norby does. So insects in the past, yeah, well, there's plagues of locusts right now. Yeah, there's been people getting dreams and all kinds of stuff. So all kinds of stuff happening. So let me just see. Things flash and I see them in the third eye. Yeah, dark shadow in the periphery. Yeah, so it's really interesting as you start to see this more. So one of the things about that the pyramids do, what we're teaching today, is learning about higher vibrational stuff and how to raise the energy. So one of the things right now, even, I'm just inviting Gabriel, Michael, Uriel, and Raphael, the 4 archangels, and the Divine Mother, and basically the spirit of Moses, Elijah, Enoch, and Elijah, and just get all those in line with the order of Melchizedek and with the Father and the Holy Spirit. And you can feel it as we do that, the energy just starts to actually increase. So the main thing is, once we start to take action and deal with things, what's very important to understand is the law of gravity is naturally a pulling back law. And what I mean by that is that naturally we are basically aging when we come to Earth. The natural thing that starts happening is we start to age, we start to pull back, we start to get caught up in matter, and we eventually come to a point where we die from the aging and the heavy density of planet Earth. Guys like Deepak Chopra has taught this. Annalise Scarron, a prophetess who I'm studying a lot of her writings at the moment, talks about these laws. So the work to actually cleanse your planet, even as Thomas Jefferson said, he said naturally there's this tendency for governments and the dark to try and push and take over. So you're always having to do work constantly. This is a constant ongoing process to do this, to clear the energies, to clear things out and to shift the energies. So we went through the rituals and what we've done, and many of you have been busy doing that, and I've been so amazed at how much people have been doing this. The cleanse V's, the code activations, the protection rituals, and just noticing what's been happening. And of course, many of you have been doing this stuff. West Australia, we've seen a lot of shifting happening. And overall, I'm actually enjoying being around our city right now because I'm feeling so much different around here. Not just in myself, but there's no question that the city and what we've done is we're seeing a change in undoing these things. And I'm be curious if anyone else has. I know Christine, you felt that in Albany, Christine Evans, and some of you others may or may not have something to report there. So we discussed the female Satan and went through all this and how this all works. Okay, it's just, the chat is annoying. Yeah, Christine Norby has felt the difference. Yep. So yep, we got these ones to watch. These 4 women, and we're taking a bit of a break from that for now, only because I got a very strong message, and that's why we're working on activating before we come back onto this. So this is getting into fairly high level stuff, and I don't want to touch some of this stuff too much until I feel people at a certain level of activation and cleanliness, because these are kind of dealing with dark energies that when most people who are doing, for example, Reiki, pranic healing, day-to-day healing, and 99.9% of healers, they're just not touching these realms and these much higher dimensions, because these ones operate in the etheric layer. They operate even in the celestial, some of them. They can actually fight back in some of the higher realms. And this was something that shocked me, I'll be honest with you. I didn't used to believe that was possible, but until I learned about the Tower of Babel, and then even some of my recent studies in the last couple of years, and discovered the ability of the best, and that's what they want to keep secret from people. Even in some of the higher realms, they can actually operate and tamper with. Many of these dark masters and spirits have got phenomenal power and almost like creator God frequencies they can operate in. And once you actually understand this, it's very sobering. And you realize that you've really got to have not only your own life cleaned up, but you've got to have a really good ability to be able to tap into these higher realms and actually be able to know how to address these things. Even this week, I've been becoming aware of some much higher level spirits and entities that operate. So we're taking on something that really very few people are daring to take on, and those who do even know much about. So it's, in a way, I love it. I'm excited by it. I'm very glad that I've been shown this stuff. And at the same time, I'm asking for wisdom in how to address this. And what I'm being told is this is a marathon, not a sprint. So this is about getting these things in place. We've got the Flower of Life. Out of curiosity, has anyone gone and taken action on the Flower of Life and already started going and mentally projecting in the area, or anyone actually printed off stickers physically and been sticking them around? I'm just curious if anyone's done that at all, which we mentioned in our previous webinar. Yeah, Rob did. Oh, fabulous. Sam is waiting. Great, Rob. Yeah, action man. Love it. Sam waiting for stickers. Yep, Christine, no stickers yet. No, it's great. Yeah. So Flower of Life is a great one. And now we're going to learn a little bit more about pyramids today, and it's going to be quite fun. So this is what we used, was this Flower of Life activation. And like we said, they all have a pyramids and everything. Gosh, I don't know why. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Fiona's on her phone. Yeah, look, there's various things you can do. So, okay. So, everything is energy and it can be transformed. So we went into this one about sovereignty. One of the reasons I believe personally that what we see is happening, in fact, don't believe, but I have no doubt, is just people's complete, I'm just going to keep it like this so it's easy to look at. Just basically people not being sovereign. Sovereign means, by the way, that you self-govern, you make your own choices on stuff. So most people, you seek, run to a doctor. Financially broke, run to government. Basically, just always looking for something outside. Whereas a sovereign man or woman, yes, they do use things in the 3D. They use specialists. They use experts in health and finances and other things. They learn to work with government, but at the same time, they know they're a master over government. But no, government's just really just a cartel or group of people that's taken power or that's operating on the authority of man. And when you understand higher laws of consciousness, I can absolutely say 100% that we have the government that we truly do deserve. Now, and the more you actually get to know that and understand it, it's actually not that fun to realize that anything going on in our society, we have created this by our own consciousness. We actually have. So we can change that. And by changing our thought projections, changing what we're seeing, changing what we're visualizing and what we're actually experiencing. So the order of manifestation, as we mentioned here, which the dark certainly know very, very well, and those cartels who work now, understand the spiritual laws. The Freemasons at the 32nd and 33rd teach you heavily about manifestation and how to control governments, laws, and business through consciousness. What's called the Ashkenazi Khazarian Jews, and if you really want to have some fun and explore some really deeper stuff, the Khazarians were removed from the Encyclopedia Britannica in the 1914 edition after the Rothschilds took over them, and talks all about a group of people who were spiritual, basically involved in Judaism, but who were barbarians who learnt Judaism and learnt higher Babylonian religion. So many of them control the financial system by controlling the consciousness and by controlling the spiritual books. And the governments in turn are controlled by this, because governments at the end of the day, they just want money. So whoever controls the economics will control them. So if you kind of want to look a little bit deeper what's going on right now, and this is why the spiritual warfare is so important here, another way to put it is the corporations or dead entities, what I call it. They actually are dead entities. They got no soul, no life. So this is what basically controls the governments, which are really just normal kind of self-interested people by and large, who basically want to make a quick quid. So these are the ones, for example, who call up these spirits from the Rephaim, from the dead. They then use them to manifest this kind of stuff here and control this kind of area, and doing the stuff we showed you, which in turn controls and sets up governments and councils and gives them corporate numbers and statuses, which then controls the people. And people go out and they protest and they run around doing these anti-vaccinations and 5G and everything else they're doing, and they got no idea about what they're doing. Is it coming from here to try and hit the city? So if you want to get a bit of a metaphor picture, imagine a city with steel walls that you can't penetrate. It's almost impossible. And the people are running up there, firing at it, firing at it. In the meantime, they're just calmly leaning over and shooting fire bombs over there and arrows. Eventually, they're going to kill the people. Whereas, imagine someone's smart and they find the way underneath to dig in there and get into that city and take it from the inside, for example. So that's why the answer is to get deeper and go inward and then take control of the city and the leaders from internally. So that's what we're doing. So we went through all this with the flower of life about the different codes and symbols, physical, human, etheric, oversoul, light bodies, and about this light bodies in Sanskrit, oversoul, Christ avatar. So we're learning a lot about etheric right now and how to deal with this etheric layer. We talked about how codes and symbols are a technology. J.J. Herdak talks about this. The dark and false religions limit this. You see symbols everywhere. So it's reclaiming this higher technology. I'm doing so much code activations right now, and just to show you and give you a sneak preview, I mean, I'm probably doing this 3 times a day. This is some of the stuff I get from lady I work with as an example. So like right now in recent times, I've been using this one a lot, for example, and some of you have experienced that one. Then I've used this one here. We were using this morning. This implodes much deeper knowledge and wisdom, which we're doing this morning. Then these are some of the new ones I've just been introduced to. Then these are the ones I'm working on right now as an example, much deeper light body codes. So these are actually ways, and as I've been doing it, it's been very interesting for me. I've actually been having my son was over last night, or sorry, early in the week, and he goes to me, he's staring at me a bit weirdly. And William does actually see energy very clearly. And I said, what are you seeing? And he said, well, he said, I've never seen anything like it, Dad. He goes, you've got implants in you, but they're not like dark implants anymore. He said, you've got like all these light implants of all these colors. And when he described the colors, I showed him the codes and said, do these are they like this? He goes, yeah, that's like that. But they're even more profound than that. They got like colors everywhere, like various stuff, and they're doing stuff. And I said, it makes sense because I've been feeling that more. I had that when I was seeing with Yvonne yesterday. And she said to me, yeah, what I'm seeing in you is phenomenal. She said, there's all this stuff. So I'm doing this diligently, systematically, constantly now. I'm activating myself, my region constantly. And of course, it was good, encouraging feedback for me to actually realize how well these things actually work. Because by nature, in all honesty, everyone, I'm pretty linear. As Grace will tell you, who knows me well. And when she first when we actually got married 25 years ago, she used to be like, oh my God, what is this guy on? Because I was just so linear in how I thought, where she was very holographic, and she taught me a lot. And that's why even when we separated, for example, and we kind of kept doing this work together like we're doing, it's been really interesting for both of us to learn a lot of this stuff. So these things is very holographic in your thinking. And this is why the pyramids today is when you learn this is like another level which you can start to learn and master and use these. So we looked at the flower of life, as I mentioned, and we've already been activating that one and the power of that one. And even as I'm doing this right now, I don't know if any of you can feel it, but I'm actually projecting a flower of life covering over each of you and over me and over the whole group. So I'm just curious who can sense the raising of the energies I'm doing now. Probably just a little bit subtle. I'm just curious if anyone's feeling it. So what I'm doing is activating you and your chakras, activating it throughout you, and I can actually see it raising as I'm doing this. So Sam, yeah, so those who are sensitive to energy will be feeling that. So, yep, Carol, Alex, yeah. So if you're not, that's okay. It works. It's a little bit like once you're doing it, it still does work anyway. So Rob, feeling energy running through me. Yeah, look, it's great. There's people who are feeling it. Steve, yep. Yeah, so as you start to get sensitive to energy more and clearing out blocks more, you'll feel it more. And the code will do exactly what it has to do. Christine, Norvi, great. So yeah, so what you can do is really start to get diligent in imagining this over your area. And that's why I like the physical stickers, because they do give that physical part to it. So now let's have a look at pyramids, what we're here to look at today. So now I'm actually projecting a pyramid over each of you. So just imagine a pyramid, everyone here, just over the whole group. And also, not just over the whole group, but just imagine a pyramid right now over the whole group, and imagine a pyramid right now over you. So I'm just imagining a pyramid over each person, over the whole group. And you can even imagine another small one in your third eye. Just get that in there. Imagination is the gateway to the spirit. Neville Goddard says, great spiritual teacher. And then imagine it just decalcifying and seeing your pineal gland. I just see a little, just allowing it to crust and to break off. And just feel and imagine a pyramid just covering you and covering this whole group, and now just over our whole region. And now, as you're doing that, let's start to talk about it. So we mentioned about the flower of life previously, and I just went through all of this, and I showed you the flower of life and how it worked, and how it was a very geometric thing. And we went through the various different things. We showed it in Da Vinci, the seed of life and how that was part of the flower of life, the egg of life and the fruit of life, and how they all worked in together. Metatron's cube, Temple of Osiris, where you can see it there. And we gave a bit of an introduction to pyramids and how these work exactly. So there's a lot that we've actually seen there with all this. So we started doing all this last week. So there's a lot of amazing things which pyramids can actually do when you actually work within them. Just fixing up something here on the slide. I'm just noticing mistakes. Excuse me a sec. So I'm just fixing up a mistake here, everyone. Okay. Okay, so we had this pyramid here and the flower of life, and we went through how David Wilcock did these things. So it's good just to remind ourselves, and I always do take a bit of time to go over it, especially because it's been 2 weeks. But it's really important to get back to how powerful these things are. And I've seen these things do energize water and everything else. So what we're going to be doing now is to actually start to go through and look at pyramids and how they work together, as well as exploring a little bit about how they work with the flower of life. So codes and pyramids are ancient knowledge and tremendously powerful for healings and for clearings. They work beautifully. So David Wilcock, in his books, The Synchronicity Key and The Source Code, talk a lot about pyramids and how effective these things are to actually cleanse your energy, and they're basically an energy magnifier, especially when they've been built with sacred geometry. Like the Great Pyramid has a measurements of the Earth's size, length of a year, distance from the Earth to the sun, star alignment, etc. So they've been proven to have a transformative power over the Earth and the field of consciousness. Western walls are a long way to catch on to how effective these are. Now, if you go here, for example, it says here that the stone which the builders rejected has become the headstone of the corner. Now, in the Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hurtak, he gives this as an example in the scriptures, which actually talks about the Great Pyramid and how it talks about the capstone. And throughout the Bible, as well as through the Enoch key books, you will see these pyramid stuff referred to quite regularly. Isaiah especially talks a lot about the Great Pyramid. You've got to actually understand the coding and symbology of it. So when you go through this one here, it talks about Egypt a lot. And it says that there will be a highway for the remnant of the people from Assyria to Egypt. And what Enoch told Hurtak in the prophecy in the book, he said actually will be a highway and there'll be pyramids, and there'll be like a pyramid, and lands that will form the wall will work together with a great pyramid basically becoming a central place. And here, this continues on here, talking again about Egypt and about the pyramids. And it says here, but in that day there shall be the highway out of Egypt to Assyria. So, and in fact, when you go back earlier, it says, in that day there shall be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border. So the altar basically, another word is pyramid. So basically it's talking about a pyramid in the land of Egypt, or the Great Pyramid, and a sign and a witness for basically people to turn back to the higher vibrational laws in the higher realm. Now, let's just start to have a bit of fun. In Russia, there was this pyramid study. Now, Dr. Alexander Golov built 17 pyramids in Russia and Ukraine, okay? So, yeah, Rob's from Egypt. The pyramids are amazing. Yeah, I'd love to see them. I've heard that from people who've been there. They're built with perfect sacred geometry, Rob. A bit like Noah's Ark as well. So they're all built to fit the golden ratio of pi or Fibonacci sequence and 144 feet. So 144 is a sacred number, which is used regularly in Revelation. For example, there's a Council of 9, who are the ones I work with, the Keys of Enoch talks about, the Council of 12 and the Council of 144. Revelation talks about 144,000 who will basically be ascended and pure and will have all the higher vibrational coding within their DNA, who will basically be preserved and who will escape these times to come upon planet Earth. That's been the reason I've got so heavily on this path, because my whole desire since I was young has been to basically be a fully coded being doing a fully coded work with no attachment to this 3D whatsoever. So the 17 pyramids, there were 50 pyramids across the world. Whenever he uses PVC pipe with fiberglass sheets have magical qualities, and when metal was used, they disappear. So through the work of Drabal and followed by Russian scientists whose name I cannot pronounce, it was discovered that razor blades, when placed within a pyramid, like the dimensions of the Great Pyramid, could change the molecular structure along the cutting edge in the lumpy, bumpy waves-like surfaces and sharpen the razor. Interestingly, it only worked with the east-west alignment, not north-south alignment, which is spoken about in the book of Ezekiel about the east, and Grace was talking to me about this the other day. So there's very precise instructions in the temple of Ezekiel, which talks about the east and the importance of the temple having doors facing to the east. So any kind of sacred geometry, which Freemasonry, for example, teach about the pyramids and about the temples, and Solomon's, based on Solomon's temple in the book of Chronicles in the Bible, there's very precise directions, and the Freemasons follow these very precise instructions. So the east-west alignment. So understand it's very exact how these things work. And it's very interesting how, in all honesty, I'll say this to people, and either you'll get what I'm saying or you'll misunderstand what I'm saying. But I said, in all honesty, I was saying the other, Grace and I were talking, I said, I think people deserve to be slaves. I said, we're a most undisciplined, unruly bunch. And when I've had experience of high dimensional beings, and when I had the Council of 9 and others speak to me, they almost look upon humanity and just like, we cannot believe what goes on here. That's their attitude. It's like, honestly, you know, some of them, there's been a few times I've had very high dimensional beings, even higher than the Council of 9, who've spoken to me. They've even said, you know, honestly, they said, we have a deep love, and that's why we're working with people. But they said, in all honesty, they said, you know, people deserve what's going on. You have to agree with us that the bombs, the horrors, people deserve it. And I'm like, well, yeah. But they said, fortunately, we don't go over what people deserve. We're here to show love, and we're here to do healing and give people a chance. At the same time, people won't listen to higher wisdom or knowledge, they'll get what's coming. And that's very much, it's very exact in these higher dimensional beings and how they tick and how they think. Very exact. So understand, when you start to deal with this kind of stuff, it's very exact, it's very orderly and very disciplined. So with the pyramid, like I said, it worked here exactly. So if they built in accordance with the golden ratio and left for a number of days, pyramids. Now the golden ratio is used by some people in trading. A man called William Gann got phenomenal results trading markets, for example, using the golden ratio in Fibonacci sequences. So if they built in accordance with the golden ratio, pyramids are found to preserve fish, meat, and eggs, cause plants to stay fresh and alive without being watered, cut flowers, keep color and fragrance. Coffee, wine, liquor, and tobacco have a better aroma. And I love doing that. I regularly project pyramids over things and what I'm doing. We had a pending cyclone coming to Perth about a week ago. And they talked about potential damage that was going to happen to houses. Minor damage, they said, but potential power blackouts. And I thought, I really don't feel like a power blackout. I just don't. And some weeks you find of it, I just thought, you know what, I want to do some work. So I sat down and I mentally projected and I made it very precise. I thought, I'm not going to put it over the whole of Perth. I'm going to only put it on the region where I live in, just the very precise region where I'm living in. I kind of want to see how all this works. Plus, well, people in their regions can do their own work. And the cyclone, basically what happened was over the areas I did it in, well, it was strong winds, no doubt, but nothing happened. Nothing was damaged. No power blackouts. Life went on as normal. And this happened in a few other areas. I know other people did the same thing. So basically, yeah, the cyclone that never came, Chris said, well, it did come, but it came to certain parts, but where we were, I just basically was using the pyramids. So I thought, well, I have no doubt this will work, because the more I'm studying higher technology and higher teachings, you can control the weather energetically once you know this stuff. So they found that even drugs, so how interesting is this? Even drugs, antibiotics and stuff that normally is very toxic and damaging, once basically they found that by storing, Professor Noski and Klemenko found by storing a virus-fighting drug called venoglobin in a pyramid for 3 days, it was 3 times more effective in fighting viruses. Even when they diluted the drug so much, it was no longer scientifically effective and relied entirely on energy. So there's manifestational stuff even in the holographic universe and stuff like that, where they're finding the power of this stuff, where they found that mentally, for example, doing things like this and higher frequency technology can literally change results in sport. It can change results in all kinds of stuff. So it's very, very effective stuff when you know how to use this. So another study put 40% glucose in water and left it in the pyramid, and they found premature babies who would usually die were experiencing full recoveries. Another Russian study by Dr. Egorova injected one group of mice, control group, with typhoid fever virus, and another group of mice, pyramid group, with the same virus. 60% of the mice in the pyramid group recovered, whereas only 7% of the mice in the control group did so. Even when they increased the dosage to the point where it killed nearly all the mice in the control group, 30% of the pyramid group mice survived. Mice with carcinogens in the pyramid group were given water from a pyramid and developed minimal tumors compared to the mice in the control group. So this is just very systematic, very objective, and it actually works. Alex says he put a pyramid over his van, and every day he drove was clear that day. There was heavy rain and winds that went to, but the harder drop touched me. Yep, exactly right, Alex. It really works. So Avril said she's done it once. Fabulous. So Dr. Alexander Golod, the Russian scientist. So, yep, Christine Norway, pyramid over houses and cars at days and our plants. Yep, absolutely fine. Works beautifully, doesn't it? So the taller the pyramid, they found the more powerful its effects. Even the tallest pyramid was one quarter the height of the Great Pyramid. Granite crystals scattered along the floor of Golad's tallest pyramid developed a faint but visible whitening when they should have turned reddish brown. Not only that, but some of the rocks developed this whitish shade and formed a visible ring which aligned perfectly with the central aspect of the pyramid or axis. When these rings formed, there was a drop in epidemics or sicknesses in the surrounding areas. So you want to stop like the so WA have virtually completely stopped having the virus, and apart from these cruise and export ships coming from outside. Well, like I can remember when this first was happening, I was very busy doing this kind of stuff over West Australia and doing work on our leaders. So basically, the result was epidemics can drop. So we can completely drop the epidemics in our area. Golod built pyramids over oil wells. The oil under the pyramid became 30% thinner and was easier to pump, and a 30% increase in production. So commercially, it makes sense. Agricultural seeds kept in a pyramid for 1 to 5 days before planting were compared to normal seeds. So the pyramid seeds experienced a 20 to 100% increase in crop production These plants did not get sick, nor were they affected by any form of drought. So they also achieved the same results by placing rocks on the pyramids around the seeds. Anything harmful or toxic to life was transformed in its character if kept inside a pyramid. So poisons and toxins and viruses were less destructive in a pyramid for a short period of time. Radioactive materials decayed less faster. Psychedelic drugs like LSD had less of an effect on people inside or within a close range of the pyramid. Glucose in water kept in a pyramid for a few days, administered by injection, was successful in treating alcoholism and drug addiction. There are a number of findings by Dr. Yuri Bogdanov, member of the Russian Science and Technological Institute. He used smaller pyramids than Golad in his experiment, but Dr. Golad, he found the 12-meter pyramid in Moscow made wheat grow 400% more effectively. Salts changed their crystallization patterns. Diamonds in the pyramid became harder and purer than normal and more valuable. Rabbits and white rats became 200% stronger in their endurance and a significant increase in white blood cell counts. So it's pretty damn cool how well this can work. I know that one of my best experiences of this was when I was actually got shocking food poisoning in Singapore, and I was in a lot of pain in my stomach. So I just imagined a pyramid throughout my stomach and did a fair bit of work on that, and bingo. Basically, as I was doing the work, it took about 2 to 3 minutes, I completely got rid of it. So I found we've been able to keep these pyramids on our finances, pyramids on our businesses, pyramids on our area, pyramids even, like I said, within our groups. I regularly put pyramids, and something that my partner, who's Pleiadian, she actually regularly does this kind of work with pyramids. And I know when I've had some situations with dental stuff even going on, I had to have a lot of deep fillings right close to the gums this week, and I wasn't looking forward to it. So I had her busy and I was doing pyramids and doing stuff. And in all honesty, my teeth actually probably feel the best they felt in ages at the moment. The sensitivity I've had for years has been reducing significantly. Just as I've been doing a lot more work on this over this last week, as well as doing other things I've been getting a sense to do and following the inner messages I was getting. So you can use this for your health, you can use this for people around you, and certainly we can use it in our area. Dr. Yuri Bogdanov, Russian Scientific and Technological Institute. So used to actually improve water contamination of the Arkhangelsk region of Russia. So a series of pyramids over contaminated water which removes strontium and heavy metal contamination from the water. Raymond Grace uses his dowsing rod. He says it's your intention that does it. The town of Krasnogorsk near Moscow, where one pyramid cleared all the salt contamination polluting the water. Putting crystals and rock granites from a pyramid set up in jails around Russia by the Giza Pyramid research reduced criminal behavior significantly to the point that most crimes completely 100% disappeared just by doing this around the jails. So when you raise the frequency of something, it starts to transform and people feel the difference. I have no doubt right now Los Angeles and Minnesota could do with some pyramids right now and some crystals and rocks around their region. And you can only tell how much people are turned away from the higher truth. And all I can say is I remember when I was in Alabama a couple of years ago, I was very, very shocked when I was there. This was a town that was very heavy on mistreatment of black civil rights and very poor in the slavery era. And I think I struggled to find almost anywhere which sold decent food. I was just horrified at the low consciousness of the places when I was there. And I thought, you've got to be kidding me. So it doesn't actually surprise. So Christine says, can we do it in US? Well, we can, but most importantly, you've got to have people physically in there doing it. I mean, we can definitely give a little bit of a help, Christine. I'm more focused on getting West Australia and the parts of around Australia I've done, and been given the education available. So we can definitely help those areas. But certainly what those areas really need is to raise up some conscious people who are willing to be physically, because it's being physically present in that region that makes a big difference. So if you're physically somewhere, like you're physically in Perth, I'm physically here, we're connected to the grids of your city. So yes, we can do it energetically, but the physical improves significantly, does improve the power. So, but yes, you can do it. So, and the truth is, Christine, that I hate to see what's happening over here. Look, I think the feminine especially is really feeling it, because they're seeing like the horrors of what's happening. And the truth is, I see it getting a lot worse. And so, and the thing is, it's a big wake up call for many of these areas. And there's no question though in saying that you can raise the vibrations by pouring a lot of love and a lot of energy into these regions that could start to at least help settle these things and release the spirits from these leaders and start to actually heal at least get enough people in there to start to actually work on the consciousness of the region. So yeah, look, basically by raising the consciousness and doing that kind of stuff in these pyramids, people start to calm down, their minds start to be protected. So you can start to definitely project the pyramid over the areas, and that can start to at least calm people's minds down, see things more rationally. So pyramids reduced catastrophes and epidemics, lowered chances of tornadoes, earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis. When examining local areas of pyramids, rather than one large catastrophic earthquake, there was more several tiny. So a little bit like what we experienced with the tornadoes. So when examining local areas rather than that, the pyramids are bleeding off the charge of friction and geotectonic stress causing the huge earthquakes. So who's enjoying this, by the way, just at the moment? Who's really finding this very, very fascinating? Yeah, Christine, yeah, Carol, love it. Sam, excellent. No, it's good. Because the scientific part, of course, it does give you a lot more of the kind of practical things, doesn't it? It actually helps you to really see it in practical use, not just spiritual. So Yuri Bogdanov also, when he put 7 100-gram chunks of granite from a pyramid into 1 meter circle, the area was 5,000% less likely to be struck by lightning. A 500-meter wide column of energy formed around the pyramid. That blew my mind, as well as a larger 300-kilometer circle, which is found to actively deflect storms and severe weather, and storms would go around the whole area, not through it, which was exactly what I see happen with us in Perth, for those of you who worked over here. But I have no doubt that in the spirit realm, that's what happened. We created a column of energy. So imagine how this could transform hurricane-affected areas. So findings by Dr. Yuri Bogdanovich, again. So the 300-kilometer, in fact, let's just put this into 2 things. I'm just going to fix it up a little bit. Okay, so Dr. Bogdanovich, this 300-kilometer column of energy appeared around a 22-meter pyramid built on Seliger Lake. Several months later, the ozone layer sitting over the area substantially improved. Even more incredibly, as time went on, streams of water appeared in the nearby countryside and the stork set up a nest. The fields became extinct covered with flowers, which were believed extinct. So that is, the land was healed, restored, and renewed. So take a little bit of a squeeze at Isaiah here and seeing what we could actually do to transform the whole earth. One of my favorite scriptures in Isaiah, this one, talking about the golden age or millennium coming on the earth. The wilderness and the solitary place, which is also interpreted desert in some place, wasteland, shall be glad for them. The desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. It shall blossom abundantly and even rejoice with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of our God. And then you talk about the miracles coming upon the earth. And the parched ground shall become a pool. Verse 7. In fact, verse 6. In the wilderness shall waters break out and streams in the desert. The parched ground shall become a pool. The thirsty land, springs of water. In the habitation of dragons where each lay shall be grass with reeds and rushes. Brilliant, brilliant one there. And in fact, when you want to go a little bit further, and a highway shall be there. It shall be called the highway of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those, the wayfaring men, which basically means foolish idiots, though fools shall not go astray in there. No lion shall be found there, nor any ravenous beast shall be found there. In other words, Satan and dark masters will not be seen there at all. Those days are coming upon the earth. We can create those portals and create those energy vacuums, which basically pretty much locks Satan and locks out the dark masters and his spirits completely out. Right now, I've got a no access zone in my own life and my own house. So I've just basically locked them out now. And believe you me, it feels great. So, and we can do this for ourselves and for our family and then for the earth when we start locking these guys out completely. So Isaiah 32. Yeah, it's a great activation scripture. So it says here, behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes, in other words, in the original language is politicians or government ministers, shall rule in judgment. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert, which means a shelter or covering from the storm, tempest or storm, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And the eyes of them that see shall no longer be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. Now, I'm sure as you hear me read this, you'll be feeling the energy raise up, because this is an activation sequence, which Pertak speaks about Isaiah's power to activate you. The heart of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly. So always activate this over Australia. So as we read that one, imagine that over your whole region, wherever you are. So this is what whenever I read this, I imagine Australia. I see Australia with a king, government leadership reigning in righteousness, politicians ruling fairly and with justice. And I basically see a man, in other words, the leadership become a hiding place from the wind. Being what government leaders should be, which is a hiding place, protecting their people from storms, from darkness, from nations that are jeopardizing their interests and their best good. Basically, these leaders become as rivers of water in a dry place at the shadow of a great rock in a weary land, and open the eyes of their people. So this is what we can see over our leaders. We can actually project this over our government. We can see our physical springs and our rivers starting to break open, our environment break open, see our rainforest flourish, our land flourish. But as you see this and take this activation and use it and visualize it, imagine now a pyramid over your whole region or state or region. I'm imagining right now over Perth, over our whole West Australia, where I'm doing it, over Perth, and seeing that Mark McGowan is a hiding place from the wind, a shelter from the storm. And I do this regularly over our leaders now. So I'm not surprised that right now, and I'm sure those of you who live in West Australia would agree, you can't complain too much about what's going on, apart from obviously like anything, how our government has handled the whole thing compared to other places, at least anyway. And we've seen overall a lot of freedom and people being allowed to continue on as normal. And so, as Neville Goddard says, how we project and see our leaders is how they will behave towards us. And they've proven that. So, yeah, Christina has. So this is the whole point. That this is how we see our leaders, and we can activate these scriptures over our leaders and over our kings, over our governments, over our environment, and imagine these pyramids, and we can use these and start to do this. But there's got to be diligent application. It's got to become a daily, regular thing, almost like where you do this when you start to walk around your region to give thanks and actually start to imagine that over your area and give thanks. A man called Al Fury, he he once walked in and started speaking in a higher late language and speaking over a restaurant. And he just started walking and saying, every one of you is going to prosper. You watch. And he just kept walking around saying it to everyone. And after he left, he thought, oh, shit, I think I was went a bit over the top there. And his wife said, I don't know what you're on there, Al. And about a few weeks later, he was just curious to drop in, or a few months later. And the moment he walked in, he got grabbed by the owner and he thought, oh, no. And the owner goes, what did you do? He said, ever since you've come in this restaurant, we've exploded. We have so much business. I'm aiming to open another branch. All of our staff have prospered. All of them been getting these unusual influx of finances into their life. But you never got to do that on me because I was away that day. It sucks because I haven't had that in my own life. Can you please do the same thing for me? So the power of what you speak over others, it's actually proven in hypnosis, mental projection, using mental projection for good. Your leaders are doing it to you all the time. They're mentally projecting and speaking things over you and dominating your subconscious. Many religious leaders do this. You can do this in your state. You can actually take this and speak with power and authority. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to complain if you speak prosperity over the state of West Australia, which is what I'm doing for our state. Prosperity over the leadership, prosperity over the politicians, pyramids over each and every politician, blessing the politicians, giving them such peace in their hearts and lives. They just want to do good by their people and who they've been entrusted to serve. Peace over our area, pyramids over right now, all of our regions, over our whole environment, over everywhere we go. We can see all kinds of stuff start to change when we do that. So imagine how this can transform the earth when we start to do that. When we actually start to speak and imagine these things and use these activations. So if you want some really juicy little activations, Isaiah 35 and Isaiah 32, the first part. You can't go too wrong with that one. I mean, I love this one here when it goes right through and he taught it here. And this is what I also speak regularly, for example. Because it says the palaces shall be forsaken, the multitude of the cities shall be left. This is all in the spirit realm where it's become desolate. A tower shall be for dens forever, a joy of pastures, a pasture for flock, until the spirit be poured from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a forest. When judgment dwells in the wilderness, righteousness in the fruitful field, the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness, quietness and assurance forever. So you can see these are not bad things to speak over your region. I'm sure you would agree with this. So in conclusion on this, pyramids are ancient knowledge and tremendously powerful for doing this. And of course, I've mentioned Walcock already. Mr. Nikola Tesla, who I'm sure many of you know, he used pyramids extensively as energy magnifiers. And I've been using his technology lately with someone to get phenomenal results in my body. And a mixture of Tesla coils, pyramids, extraordinary results in my body. My physical body has never been this good since I can remember. Because the way I saw it, I thought, well, if I'm going to be doing this kind of work, I better be in good shape. So right now, while everyone's got more fear about their health, I've never been so strong and never in such good shape. Never been so ready for a spiritual war and activation. And the things that we can do when we lift our consciousness. And that is why getting spiritually strong is the best thing you can ever do. One speech I love in the Bible, being naturally a militant kind of a guy, is what he says here. This is about the man who took the promised land, who took the land of great abundance. And this is a guy here who it says, and Caleb, it says, the son said, you know the thing that the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, concerning me. And what happened with this guy was he had been ready to take on the giants, keeping in mind that the giants were the Anakims, the sons of the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who are up against in that time, and now we're up against in the spirit, by 18 to 30 feet tall. So these physical spirits are up against these giants in the time of the giants. We now face these in the physical or in the spirit. And I do see these things regularly. I saw them recently and know that's what we're dealing with here. The sons of Anak, the Nephilim, the reptilians, the Anakites. I'm sure many of you are very aware of this kind of stuff. And I love what it says here. You know the thing that the Lord said. I was ready to go back then, but the story shows, the history shows that most of them refused to believe. They were too scared of the giants and they missed out and they perished. He said, I was 40 years old when I went to spy out the land. And he said, and because I wholly followed the Lord, in other words, I chose to basically stand firm to faith and say, we can take these motherfucker giants and we can take these. The bigger they are, the harder these buggers fall. And Moses swore to him that day, saying, surely the land where your feet has trod shall be your inheritance and your children's forever, because you've wholly followed the Lord my God. And now behold, the Lord has kept me alive, as he said, these 45 years. And he said, and now I am 85 years old, 85, I'm 85 years old. You know, I'm as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me. As my strength was then, even so is my strength now for war to go out and to come in. Now therefore give me this mountain which the Lord spake on that day. For you heard in that day that the Anakims are there. And if you research the history, Anakims were 18 to 30 feet tall, which was 3 to 5 times higher than me. And the cities are great and fenced. In other words, they would steal cities, impossible. If the Lord will be with me, I will drive these motherfuckers out, as the Lord said. And Joshua blessed him and gave to Caleb Hebron for an inheritance, which means community, place of fellowship. And then when you go further and read the rest of the sequel to this, it says here, it says that Caleb drove out the sons of Anak, Sheshai, Heman, and Talmai, the children of Anak. So basically, Caleb went straight out there, took these guys on, and drove out the 3 giants. And believe you me, driving out giants in fenced cities, you had to have had faith and know your power. And that's what we're up against today. We're up against basically the sons of Anak, these fenced spirits. And believe you me, these guys are big motherfuckers. But the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So the pyramids and increasing the energy and reactivating it and bringing an abundance. 7,000 people meditating reduced terrorism in the area by 72%. So yes, Christine, there's no question that we can make a difference, and especially as we start to activate those areas. And 5 psychics projecting love and healing towards a plant were successful in healing plants, and vice versa. Hostile thoughts towards plants cause them to die. They found in all kinds of research and experiments that mental connection or projection is as powerful as the real thing. So yes, you can do that. So just reminding what we showed earlier on about how well this can use. So you can do it with your plants. You might even choose to buy one, a little pyramid to use in your house. Healing elements, as I mentioned here. Some pyramid experiments that I've been involved in myself, psychic healers, a sample pyramid experiments, basically that, psychic healers, sample pyramids. So as I mentioned, mentally projected pyramids, prostrate, myself and one of my friends or guy that I knew basically healed his prostrate using pyramids. I managed to stop hair loss of myself by using pyramids. I've helped my teeth using pyramids. Healing food poisoning. So there's so many things you can do when you use pyramids. So let's just ask questions or comments before we do activations. Any questions or comments? Have you found this helpful? So Christine will start using them on my gums. Yep. Rob to further knowledge. What's Rob's? Can you recommend books to read? Yeah, gosh. I just researched on the internet about pyramids, Rob. Like I said, we are going to be doing some courses. So if you're interested, I'll just give some more details to you. So Kathy, thank you. Yeah, absolutely, we can make a difference. So yep, Rob, I'll message you. Anyone else want any message on some of the courses and other stuff that we do? Because we do have quite a few different things we do, as well as this is just a service that we're doing to help our area. But Yeah, Christine, very powerful. Yeah. Yep, Carol. Yeah, Sam's been projecting pyramids over kids daily for a while, crystal pyramids and family. I'm sure you've seen a difference in your kids, Sam. If you did this daily and diligently every single day, and even trained yourself to see your kids, like it's very, very important with what your intention is and how you speak. This is just another thing I'll mention that goes hand in hand with the pyramids. Like I can remember, for example, that my son, William, who is awesome. He's really kind of, I saw him as young. I always saw William as awesome. To me, it was like obvious. And I can remember someone trying to tell me once he was autistic. And I can remember, I just said to the person who said that to me, I just said to them, they were actually the partner of a guy who we invited a whole group of people for dinner. And she goes, I'm a specialist with children. I just thought, I think your child shows signs of Asperger's autistic. And I said, you don't know what's fucking going on in my child, and I haven't asked for your advice, and I haven't encountered, and I haven't paid you to do that. And she's a little bit shocked, and everyone kind of went a bit awkward at the table. And she goes, oh no, I'm just trying to help. I said, you're not helping. I said, you have no idea, and you're speaking crap over my kid. Be quiet. And I said, I have no interest whatsoever in your stupid opinion. And it shut her up really fast, as you can imagine, and they never came over our house again. But I didn't really give a rat's ass because I said no. I said, as far as I'm concerned, William he's a bright guy. He's brilliant. It's just he's got his own challenges learning to navigate the world right now. And something that Grace and I together made that decision. And what's been amazing is watching him just develop, and he's now 19. He now does his own webinars, which some of you are part of, and just growing from strength to strength. And one of the things, and I taught him about pyramids. I taught the kids about my boys about pyramids since they were young. When they were getting flus and sickness, I would just teach them, guys, just project pyramids, just project pyramids, just project pyramids, and just give thanks that you're healed already. Just do that. Use your intention. These days, they said to me, now we haven't been sick for years. They don't really get sick anymore. Because they've just learned to use pyramids. So these things really work because this is technology, and this is using higher technology and higher knowledge. But the dark don't want you to know, only because they just want to keep control and run their lovely little slave race. So yeah, there's so much that you can do by having a very clear intention, and even the way you speak about your finances, the way you speak about your people and your family, all that kind of stuff. So Raymond Grace says that your mouth talks and your body hears. So Rob, any specific prayers to assault while using pyramids, or same as the flower of life activation? Yeah, I would just use that. I would just imagine the pyramid and just do very similar to the flower of life activation, Rob. Something like, with this pyramid, I activate our region for higher good. It's more important your intention and what you feel and what you see. You imagine it there. And what I normally do is I just give thanks. I presume it's happened. I give thanks, and I send thanks out of my heart. I see it, I give thanks, I just know it's done. And then I'll just normally speak the words with a command. Like I'll just say, I give thanks that with this pyramid, our area is now sealed, our region is now sealed. And I just imagine it, and I use less words and more just feeling it, seeing it, and doing that. So Alex says we place a pyramid over our son before he goes to sleep. Yeah, well, very important what you imagine and project over yourself before going to sleep. When William was 2.5, I'm sure Grace remembers this, but he started getting very asthmatic. Now, when I was a kid, I had that kind of stuff, and he'd been building up for a couple of weeks. So I just remember saying to Grace, now we've got to address this. Asthma generally comes from energy, and also we were very aware that it had to do with the relationship with the mother. So Grace took that responsibility, and she said, yeah, I'm projecting my stuff onto him. And as he was falling asleep, she just spoke over him and said, William, I love you. I release anything that I've put upon you. Apologize for it, and I just give thanks. You're a beautiful boy. And we just sort of said, you know what, William, you're 100% fine. And when you wake up in the morning, you're going to be feeling amazing. You'll be a whole new boy. And he's just going, because he's falling asleep. Next day he woke up and his breathing was completely normal. So you can completely transform things by changing your intention and by what you speak over yourself before you go to sleep, what you speak over others. So yeah, it's powerful stuff. I'm really glad that there's people here listening. This is just, for me, wonderful. Stuff I've taken for granted, but I'm discovering more and more that, yeah, it's like who's already got some stuff, they're going to go away. And just remember, change what you're seeing and the way you're speaking about things. It's really important. That's another thing just to share today about this. Carol, yeah. Yeah, so absolutely with your kids and family. So we're going to do 2 activations to finish off. So just imagine a pyramid right now over yourself. Yeah, Avril says, I love to share just how powerful the intention actually is. Yeah, it is, isn't it, Avril? Very powerful. So let's just really imagine this pyramid just going right now over everyone in this group and over this, and not just that group, just over your specific region. And just see it in the region, anything in there, just give thanks for the energy and that you're already lifting the vibration. Give thanks that all of its gunk and dark is already coming to light. And just give thanks for a cleansing and a cleaning up and a transformation and renewal of your area. So those of you in Perth and West Australia, just imagine it at Perth. So we've got Christine in Perth, there's me in Perth, there's Grace is on Perth. I think there's, yeah, it's quite interesting today. We've got quite a real variety here today. So there's a few in Perth. Christine's in Albany. We've got Miko in the southwest. Natasha in New Zealand. Rob in Melbourne. Steve in Queensland and Sam in Queensland. Kathy, I'm not sure where you are, and Jackie, I'm not sure where any of you are, but wherever you are, maybe you can tell us. Alex is in Perth as well. Forgot about you, Alex. And I know you well. And Avril in the UK. So great. We're represented in the UK and New Zealand and in various states of Australia. So that's awesome. So let's just, and Carol's in Perth. So there's 5 in Perth. And Kathy's in Queensland too. So Queensland's got 3. WA's got 5. Fiona and Christine east of Wickerpin right now. Yep. Grace from the cosmos. Yeah, I know. So we've got a nice little group of people. So let's just really just see our areas and just give thanks that we're raising the vibration, raising the energy. And doing them, imagine a connecting grid between all the pyramids in each of us. So this way we're all feeding each other like an activation sequence. So the WA pyramids that we're setting up, there's energy and a connecting like a white golden line or connecting point straight over to the pyramids happening in Queensland, happening in Melbourne, happening in UK, happening in the southwest, happening over in New Zealand, where Natasha is. Just see all these places interconnecting to magnify each other's pyramid. And as you're seeing that pyramid, and just keep that intention of that pyramid, that golden white crystalline pyramid, I'm going to up the ante a bit. And then I'm also going to project this fire code, this Keys of Enoch code, into all the pyramids, into all of your regions. Let's all do this together. And what you do is breathe it into your third eye and project it from your heart right into the center of your pyramid. Wow, this is really increasing the energy. This is like a really large code. So as we see this, activating all its in each of the grid lines in each and every part. Activating all codes and keys, unlocking the portals in each and every area of each and every person for higher vibrational, higher work, higher spiritual technology, higher Holy Ghost activity, higher prosperity in the region, just releasing all kinds of new portals, new wisdom, new knowledge in the hearts and minds of the people in each of these areas in a higher frequency technology now. That's the message I'm being given to say. So I'm just imagining and seeing technologies and new things coming out and being released in governments and committees and in various areas to really release and to raise the vibration of the area. So I'm actually seeing this coming in. So just imagine this, to see this new wisdom, high technology coming in and being in our systems, being in our wisdom, being in our political systems, being in our universities, being in all of these places, new higher vibrational universities, technology centers happening all over our places. This code is just increasing and magnifying the frequency even more. So increasing the whole vibration of our region. Wow, this is quite profound. I'm feeling a very powerful raising of the vibration and the energy. I'm just seeing keys of wisdom being released into all kinds of universities and people, higher minds. The thing is, understand, everyone, that you've learned scientifically that this stuff does actually work. In the talent code, they found that using mental projection to practice piano had literally the exact same results over 30 days as people who did it physically. That's how powerful this is. And not just mental projection, but we're awakening our spirit and dormant what's called pineal gland. Wow. This is really raising our regions where we are. I can feel it. It's really doing something. The thing is to realize too that when we're raising these things, sometimes they happen, you'll see instant results. Sometimes they'll happen over a period of time as they integrate into the 3D. What I'm doing right now is just seeing it and just saying with intention that this is let this be fast tracked, let this happen as a high priority right now, with wisdom, with urgency. But the masters and the guides and all those who work, the higher beings, Enoch, Elijah, Ezekiel, Moses, can all be involved to fast track this knowledge to fast track this in our regions, raise the vibrations exponentially. That's what I'm now seeing and I'm commanding, exponential raising now, magnifying it much higher, cosmic higher level vibration. Ooh. Just feel free to share in the text chat what you're seeing, because I'm like seeing a lot opening up right now. Right now I'm just seeing this doorway. It's quite incredible. Sam is seeing a bright light over my region and people's minds awaken of a sudden realization and lifting their eyes upward with awe. Absolutely. We've seen this happen, Sam, in areas where people just suddenly say, I don't know why I feel different. In Charles Finney, in the Great Awakening in America 180 years ago, people were in cities that suddenly stopped their washing and got down on their knees and started to cry all over a city because Finney did this exact work, a really powerful activator. Yeah, Alex could feel it coming together. So this stuff works exponentially powerfully. Jackie feels spacey. Christine, yep, spacey. That can happen when it's your first time, Jackie. This is a powerful code. Christine, a giant pyramid over all the regions that we represent and inside being activated. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's increasing. It's just increasing. Sam and Alex are feeling a collective emotion. Interesting. What's the emotion you're feeling, Alex and Sam? Christine, bright lights of all the colors of the rainbow flashing inside the pyramid. Yeah. So you're cleansing your area right now. Remember, that there's always a balancing happening. So while America's breaking out, at the same time, I'm seeing Australia's doing the opposite. I'm seeing that we're actually becoming more alive. We're lightening up. We're increasing, we're raising our energy exponentially. That's what I'm seeing. West Australia, I see as a light. Yeah, love and gratitude, Sam, flowing of the tears. Absolutely. Jackie, white light and gold sparkles in the whole area. Exactly. That's what's happening. And especially mental projection and energy work and actually doing this and really connecting with the higher vibrational technology and beings. It's training your soul to move into higher levels of love. And when you feel deep love and deep power for your region, you can change anything. I'm just seeing us changing where dormant places. There's a scripture in Isaiah 58 in activation that says, you'll raise up the old waste places. You will raise up the foundations of many generations and restore the breaches. It says you'll be a repairer of paths for the people that dwell in. That's what we're doing right now. We're restoring breaches, repairing spiritual paths and doorways for people to basically walk in. So it's what we're doing. We're being restorers. Restoring the paths. Raising up the ancient portals, the ancient gates. Yeah, the stargates are amazing, aren't they? Well, Jackie, I don't know if, thank you, it's very kind of you, but I say I'm amazing, but well, It's just higher work and higher technology, Jackie. That's all it is. But thank you. It's very kind of you. The main thing is it's the masters who we're working with are doing an amazing work. And I just think the energy of the group is amazing. I'm amazed that I didn't honestly think we could have 14 people come together like this and do what we're doing here. I'm sure some of you felt the same. I just didn't think that people had any interest in that. I just got a little bit like, well, as far as I'm concerned, everyone can blow himself up. I was a little bit at that point some weeks ago. And I'm watching right now happening, going like, guys, you're amazing because you're restoring you've actually given me a whole new purpose, seeing people who actually are doing this and are keen to do this. Yeah, the council in Toowoomba is repairing and restoring. Yeah, we're transforming our local park right near where I live. We were doing activation work for days and months. And they're actually transforming a whole park. Sam, we're grateful you're leading the way. Yeah, well, I kind of got thrust into it. Grace will tell you how much I resisted it. Yeah, Isaiah 58. But yeah, look, I love leading the way. I'm enjoying it actually because I'm doing what I'm meant to do. And I'm just glad that everyone's stepping up and doing this. So there's a great activation happening here. Great energy. So yeah, let's just I'm just seeing this code is just transforming and raising the light. What's very important is just to get into a state of thankfulness, even speak it over your area. You can almost start to really go to that next level. And as you're driving, just imagine as you're driving, as you're walking over your area. There's a scripture in the book of Joshua in activation which says, every place that the sole of your feet shall tread, I've given to you. So there is a power in physical presence. So one of the things I love to do is I walk around their areas and our cafes and I just give thanks. And I'll say, these cafes are already given over. We have these cafes. These cafes are for the higher work. I regularly do this kind of stuff. And I've been amazed at watching even what's happening in our local area. And cafes especially that I like have done good by me. And I've spoken higher vibrational stuff over them. And watching them in this whole time, they've got through it quite comfortably. They've been prospering. They've managed to get through it. So we can, yeah, absolutely love this stuff. So yeah, just allow yourself to really feel this and just let this whole thing continue to unravel before you. Just seeing this code really open up higher doorways, higher portals is kind of quite amazing. It's like I'm seeing an open door and an open tunnel. So I just see this, I don't quite know what it is, but I'm just going to go through it. It's like this big tunnel. So it's like a tunnel and it's like a huge tunnel. So I just see as we're walking through it. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's just vastness is what I'm seeing. It's all I'm seeing is vastness, absolute vastness. Yeah, Grace is saying to me privately, it's taking my spirit in. Yeah, it's just vast, very vast. It's just vast. It's just unlocking a lot of doorways for a lot of people is what I'm seeing. Yeah, it's sort of like a really large door. So I'm just imagining walking through it deeper. So let's just all go in there and see what happens. So those of you who are seeing this tunnel, we can just go there and see where it leads to. And really just walking in there. You know, Grace, maybe you can help me a bit on this, but I'm actually just seeing energy and light everywhere. So if you feel to step in and take the mic with me on this, you're welcome to. Yeah, it's a very spacious place, Christine Norby. I'm just seeing this vast place. As I'm going in deeper, it's so vast, I can't describe it. So this is the energy that's being brought into this whole thing right now. So it's like I'm feeling I'm actually merging with the code more and more. I'm seeing galaxies now and spaces and regions. And if you open up, you'll see it too. What I'm actually seeing is that in these higher realms, I'm seeing all kinds of space. I'm seeing all kinds of beings, all kinds of things happening. There's so much joy because they're seeing things from such a different perspective, what I'm seeing. I don't know if anyone else is feeling this joy, but there's a huge joy. It's like they're so centered and so sure of what's going to come out of this. They're not even kind of, it's like not even scared. Yeah, some people almost in the time. It's like space and time, because understand in the quantum realm, it's beyond space and time. And the more you let go, wow. Didn't expect this. This was meant to be just a simple activation. But I'm in some vast realm right now. Yeah, Grace says we're going places. Yeah, we sure are. Last time this happened to me was in Albany 6 months ago, 5 months ago, when Christine and I went something, Christine Norby Orion Galaxy. Yeah, well, we're certainly somewhere around there, that's for sure. Much higher realms opening up here right now. Because the Orion Galaxy is the gateway or doorway into the next dimension, or into not the dimension, but into the next universe, into the Father's universe, what's called. Where the Enoch, Ezekiel, the wheel upon wheel. Jackie, the spacey feeling, yeah. Yeah, so Grace is saying, let's put on the vesture of light. So what we can do is just imagine those of you, I mean, the actual webinar is of course finished now, but those who want to stay and keep journeying, feel free to keep going. So what we're going to do now is put on the vesture of light. So just by intention, just we're encoding, just take it by faith. We're putting on the vesture of light. It's called. It's a light garment. The robe of righteousness, it's called. The higher vesture of light. So what we're going to go is go through the 3 veils. So we walk through the first veil. I'm feeling this incredible joy bubbling up. Yeah, that's what I've been seeing, Grace. Now I get, yeah, the second veil. Yeah, I keep seeing the Holy of Holies in the Ark of the Covenant. That's what I've actually been seeing. Been seeing that for about the last 10 minutes. That's what I saw in the first minute. Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant, the holiest of holy, the sacred symbol. Yeah, Grace, we're surrounded by very, very high level beings right now. Like these beings, just so you know, they're not from this galaxy or this universe. This is what's called seraphims or opphanims, sons of the Banai, or much higher vibrational energy, way beyond anything on planet Earth, way beyond anything. Yeah. So right now we're in the Holy of Holies, in the presence of the Almighty Father. Who rules over heaven and earth and all the higher vibrational masters. I'd see like a golden cup on a table right now. It's in like the most sacred ancient room. Yeah, I've never been anything like this before. Grace is saying to me, let's go and surrender. Yeah, I'm just like, I have never been anything like this before, except when I had my experience of the Council of Nine. That was the one time I had something similar. Yeah, and actually there was a couple of other times. It hasn't been for a while. Yeah, just so let's just keep letting go and surrendering. But yeah, right now we're in this very deep place and there's like a golden cup. I'm just taking it right now. Yeah. Some of them are seeing things in new land. Yeah, look, my sense is, so, yeah, some of you are seeing amazing things and each of you are seeing different things. I know what I'm seeing, Grace. I just had a hat put on me. Like a big hat, like a priest sort of hat of higher authority is what happened to me. Yeah, the ephod. Yeah, the priest ephod, the royal ephod. In ancient times, this is what was used to activate higher energy in portals. Yeah, so now I'm allowing them to put the breastplate. It's called a humum and a fumum with the higher crystals spoken about in the ancient scrolls. Okay, wow. So I'm wearing them now. Ooh. Oh, just started to shake my whole body. Just seeing red rubies. Yeah. Grace is saying allow the light to come through. Yeah, I'm just seeing so much light, Grace, right now. Ever since I put that ephod on, I just see light now. I've just gone into some place where it's light. Yeah, crystals are guiding you. Yeah. The only way I can describe it now is I feel like I'm in the throne room of the One. Far out.
Yeah. Yeah, Grace is saying you can see these archangels. Yeah, I'm just in this, it's just light everywhere. Absolutely light everywhere. There's angels, there's seraphims, there's guardians, there's higher order, standing in the presence of these ancient gates, crystal gates, white gates. Wow, I'm in that high crystal city. I can't describe what I'm seeing. Far out. This is so light. So I'm stepping in by faith, even though I'm nervous. Now I'm in this big hallway with the highest gates and doors I've ever seen in my life. Far out. It's just majestic. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, Grace saying about just feeling like I felt like I've been like that for a while, Grace. I just see light. I feel like I'm merging into the light now. I'm just kind of in it and I'm just seeing it, but not even separate from it anymore. I'm just in it. It's like these throne rooms, these hallways. I mean, it's a majestic place. Yeah, so just tune in, everyone. Gosh, I'm in this like majestic higher space. Like I'm in the Father. It's hard to explain. I'm in the highest vibrational energy possible. That's how I'm feeling right now. Yeah, it's for all of you to be here with me and be filled. Yeah, I'm seeing tongues of fire now. Oh, yeah, like it. Oh, shit. Yeah, there's tongues of fire, which it talks about the Elohim tongues of fire. It's filling, and yeah, just if you want it, receive it right now. But it's like tongues of fire. Yeah, I just got set on fire. This talks about this in the Keys of Enoch and Pistis Sophia in the book of Acts. Ooh, yeah, it's like a Shekinah chariot. There's wheels upon wheels. It's like a flaming chariot. That's what I'm seeing now, like a Merkaba chariot. It's just spinning my whole body around. Shit. Shekinah glory and Shekinah wisdom, the highest quantum vibrational. I'm just sending it through the portal to everyone here, so you can just receive it and feel it. Yeah, I'm in a chariot, Grace. I've just been taken straight into a Merkaba chariot, like Enoch and Elijah. Shit. Ooh, it's like flames of fire just shooting out of me. Oh, and just filling. I'm actually so hot right now. I'm literally on fire. I'm actually physically hot right now. So yeah, just take it right now, everyone. Just seeing it hit your third eye and hit your third eye and catch everyone. Just catch you in your soul and your spirit. Oh, oh gosh. Oh. Yeah, I'm in a chariot like a Merkaba. Oh. I'm sitting in a chariot going through these gates now. It's like, yeah, royal authority. It's like I'm coming into this glorious place. It's like I'm in a chariot now with royal authority, holding a scepter. Yeah, Grace, activate all of our chakras. Yeah. Okay, by command, I activate all the chakras of each and every person to awaken this, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chakra in each and every person. Through the power and the activation of Shekinah, the Elohim tongues and the flames of fire, and all 7 chakras, opening the Kepha, Keferic chakra, 7th chakra for each and every person now. Realigning all chakras instantaneously. Yeah, I've been given this very high authority. They've put something on my head and put me in a chariot and given me a scepter and given me complete authority. Yeah, wow. I'm wearing a king and a priest at the same time. It's hard to explain. But yeah, I'm actually in a chariot going through. So yeah, just feel it, everyone. Your whole chakras are being activated and awakened. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I'm seeing people being instantly healed right now in their minds of certain things, attachments, imprints, being healed now, bitterness removed from people, just healed. Oh. I see queens and kings everywhere now, rising up. Some of you are rising up into queens and kings is what I'm seeing. You've been called into those authority. To step up and know you've got it. You've got the power. Oof. Oh gosh. It's very hard to explain what's happening, everyone, but it's like I'm seeing multi-dimensional things and things flashing out of my eye. Cutting all cords, just cutting cords from people that are misaligning people from their path and just reordering things. That's what's happening right now for a lot of you. I'm just reordering and cutting cords and just clearing them all out of you. There's strings I'm seeing attached to so many people which have been kind of controlling and manipulating you, pulling your strings, all kinds of stuff. Just it's all being pulled off you now. Some of you have felt an instant release from some things. The healing's more instant this time. That's what I'm seeing. They've sped things up supernaturally. Yeah, cords are snapped off everywhere. Christine, yep. Yeah. Gosh, it's just such a high light realm. What's happening? Just share what you're feeling, everyone. What there's anyone feeling, I'm just curious if people are feeling anything cut off them, or what you're feeling and what you're seeing, because I'm seeing people being realigned everywhere and things flying off. And I'm seeing all kinds of activations taking place. Yeah, Miko's third eyes are spinning, yeah. Just very high vibrational light, like crystalline pyramids and grids everywhere. So I'm just seeing a light, just cutting cords, just cleaning things out. I'm seeing crystals being put in people now to heal them. So each of you, just some of you are getting some in your heart, some of you in your third eye. I'm actually seeing crystals being planted into people right now. Yeah, Sam felt all these things snapping off me everywhere, pressure in third eye. Yeah, Kathy, incredible healing for myself and my whole family. Pure light, and a pure light course through my body. Yeah, wow. Christine in my heart. Yeah, Rob, light-headed, zooming lights past my eyes, walking through a tunnel of light, stars and light entities with eyes looking at me. Yeah, wow. Yeah, they're just everywhere. Whew. A large being doing some work. Yeah, that's Metatron, Christine. He's really busy right now. Yeah, Metatron, Uriel, Gabriel. See them working heavily, especially Metatron, Uriel, and Gabriel. Raphael's also healing some people. Yeah, healing people's souls, like really healing. Sam, I saw Toowoomba, a large beacon of light, and I saw a new Toowoomba with a layer of bright light over the street level as I was walking around. Yeah. Natasha's awake, going into a deep sleep. Yeah. That means you've been taken into a deep theta state, Natasha. That's a sign your third eye has been really awakened. Christine being fashioning reference and Rob. Yeah, the collective is moving together. Wow. Yeah, just seeing a big pyramid triangle now. Alex, 3 chords come straight out of my third eye. Yeah, into the vortex of light. Yeah, well, I don't know anymore, Grace, whether what's the light? What's me? I don't feel like I'm separate from it at the moment. I just feel like I am the light, and that it's hard to explain. Completely in the light now. In the vortex of light. Yeah, I'm one with the light. I don't even know where it ends and where I start now. Oof. I am, but I am. So yeah. So at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm activating the Merkaba. Okay, I'm speeding it right up. So some of you may get a bit dizzy. It's just speeding up like really fast, like going 10, 500 times the speed of light. I'm being told. So I'm just going really fast. Ooh. So you'll feel it like spinning like crazy. Some of you your head might be completely going spacey, but I'm activating the Merkaba as a collective, wheel upon wheel upon wheel. Like a chariot of fire. Ooh. Oh, seeing shards of light just flying everywhere right now. It's like, yeah. Gosh, it's just pure light, everyone. Yeah, Grace is seeing thousands upon thousands of archangels surrounding and taking us. Yeah, it's the best way I can describe it, Grace. I'm in the Merkaba, and I am the Merkaba, and it's like everyone's being carried in through me. It's what the best way to describe it. It's like everyone's being carried in through me. It's the only way I can describe it. Yeah, like the vehicle of light. That's what I'm feeling like. For some reason, I'm the vehicle of light right now. It's what I'm doing right now. Like Ezekiel, rain upon rain, wheel upon wheel. Oh. Oh my gosh. I can't stop smiling. It's like, yeah, I am the light and I'm one with light, but it's like I'm in the presence of the Father right now. I'm actually there right now in the throne room, sitting there. And you've all come in. Right in the throne room, right in the tops, right in that place. It's hard to explain. It's like I'm in it and I am it. It's just strangest thing. It's like no one talks in this place. Everything just is. Yeah, Sam, I see so much wave upon wave of golden light. Miko, seriously lightheaded. Yeah, you would be. There's so much joy, I can't explain it. There's unspeakable joy. I feel like Herta would have felt in the Keys of Enoch in the first 2 pages. That's exactly where I am. I feel I'm in the exact same place he was in. And he said there was unspeakable joy, so much light. But it's just weird. I'm not even separate from it. It's like I'm one with the Father, and I am the Father, and I'm one. It's like no one talks. Everyone just is. It's just so happy. Everything is just the vibration. Is just this joy and lightness. It's like there's even beings dancing. I can feel this somewhere. I mean, I feel so one with the light. I can't see anything separate. Everything's faceless, but I can feel there's dancing vibration around. There's joyous vibration. There's light. Welcome to heaven. Is it really? Oh, it's just amazing. The heavenly highest realms. Unspeakable wisdom I'm feeling is being given to all of you. There's just lots of downloading happening right now. Wow, now there's all these angels. Now I'm actually seeing angels vibrating with light, just bowing. In the presence of the Ancient of Days. Whoa. Oh, whoa. Everyone just bowing before the Ancient of Days. It's just massive. Pristine beings of white light. Yeah. Yeah, but just elevating everyone up. They're just like elevating everyone. Just saying, yeah. I just keep wanting to laugh right now. There's just so much joy in this place. So much joy. Those of you who are just struggling a bit, just let go. That's all I'm going to say. And just allow yourself just to go in and don't think. Ooh, ooh. I'm getting a bit of a message coming through, actually. A very clear message being given from very sacred beings. I'm seeing it quite clearly now. I'm in this room, this hallowed hallway, and all I'm hearing is the word disentangle. That for some of you is to disentangle from the things around you, things of the world, and the kind of cares of what's going on. But yeah, to disentangle is the words I'm getting. Just disentangle the energy, and you know what I mean. Some of you are getting caught up with things. They're just saying just disentangle. Be in this vibration. So what I want to do is just let the code sit there and not say much for a while. And like I said, people are welcome to leave any time. But I'm feeling just to keep going with this. So I'm just going to make it quiet and just let's sit in silence for a little bit, okay? Let's just see where this takes us. And I'll speak. Yeah, Grace asked to put music. Yeah, put some music on, Grace. That feels really right. So put some music on. That'd be really good if we put some music and just kind of just kept going with this. And like I said, you're welcome to leave anytime.
Okay, so yeah, there's such a deep sense right now. And how did the music come through, everyone? Just maybe share what you're feeling right now, everyone. Just what's happening to you. I'm still seeing very high realms, everyone. And in a very hallowed high kingdom and halls is what I'm seeing right now still. Like I said, still feel like I'm in it. So just share what you're feeling, everyone. Sam, a profound peace and stillness. That's pretty accurate. Christine, lots of light thrown. My body even warmed up at times. It doesn't usually. Yeah, I've been here very hot, Christine. And overall, very calm and peaceful. Yeah. Carol, peace. Yep. There's a deep peace. This is a peace you have when connected to higher vibrational realms of light. And we're bringing this peace right now to the grid lines where we're at. That's the thing to remember. Because just as it's happening with us as we're connected to the earth, we can even just feel ourselves connected to the center of the earth as well as to heaven. And that can spread this light even further. Okay, that's interesting, Sam. I was taken out of my bed and looking over it empty, like taken somewhere else. Yeah, it sounds like you had an out-of-body experience, that your spirit was actually taken out of your body. I've had kind of... Carol, thank you. So glad to be here. Yes, we're glad to have you too, Carol. I love you and Jackie's energy. You're very appreciative and both very lovely ladies, and very glad to have you both here. Gosh. Alex, joyfulness, stillness, and letting go. Yeah. I just still feel peace and wanting to laugh. You know, we're raising the vibration by our intention. So in the same way that you're being led into this place today, you can all go out and lead others into this same place and lead your region into this place by intention. There's so much love these masters have for all of you. It's all I can say. So much love. Natasha writes, not sure I want to come back. Got a message about no separation. Natasha, now you can get a glimpse of what I experienced in 2018 when I had many days of this kind of stuff happening to me. And I just begged them that I would not have to come back. I said, I don't know if I should admit it, but I basically just said, look, I just said, why can't I just come into this realm and let Earth just kind of do whatever it's going to do? I'm sure it's going to turn south. And I kept being told, no, you have a path to do here. And now I'm very glad I'm here. But the beautiful thing is, Atash, you never have to come back. You can be there every time. I mean, you can be there consistently. You can come into this garden any time is the message I'm getting for you. You can come here any time. You're welcome. That's what they say about no separation. It's like they're smiling. They're saying to you, you're welcome anytime. You're an honoured guest. Who here, I'm just out of interest, who here, as I was experiencing all this, actually felt it with me? You pretty much went in pretty quickly without much resistance. I'm just curious. I could feel a few of you just came straight in without any problem. I'm just curious who just came straight in without really much resistance. Yeah, Christina, yeah, you did. I think you've been hungry for this for a long time. Yeah, the seraphim that pulled me up in the realm straight away. Yeah, if I did, I wasn't physically aware of it, lol. Yeah. Christine started traveling as soon as she started talking about the pyramids earlier this evening. Yeah. Yeah, I think you get very excited, Christine. I think your spirit gets very excited when you can feel this coming. I remember when this happened in Albany 5 months ago. Yeah, Christine loves the seraphim. Yeah, aren't they amazing? Just very different levels of vibration, aren't they? Yeah, Sam came in as going through the veils. Yeah, it was just a whole new experience for me tonight with some of that. I was given a whole new level of activation and power tonight. So I'm like, okay, wow, I've got some interesting new levels ahead for me in terms of what to do now. But yeah, I've sort of been given an authority now to open the gates and open these doors for people very easily.
The main thing you learn with these realms is they open up when you least expect them, and they take you in when you're not even thinking about it. And that's what happened tonight, certainly. Grace is asking me something. Okay, I'll do what you say, Grace. By the authority vested in me by the cloak of Enoch, by the scepter of Moses, and by the order of Elijah, I break the stronghold of the mind and any mental strongholds, and I break the iron bars and the steel clasps that have been put over the minds of anyone here, but are blocking them from hearing higher truth. And I order that helmet to be removed, but is being used to block what I'm seeing right now through the power and the scepter of Moses, by the power of the Holy Spirit. Yeah, I'm just seeing a very heavy helmet, Grace, on someone. So, yeah. It's a very heavy helmet. The message they're giving me is it's coming off slowly. That's what they've just said to me. Yeah. Yeah, Grace, it's a very heavy one. Now, Grace is just seeing a block on in a situation with someone, which is sharing with me. Yeah, the cube of Mecca, I think, is the one you're talking about, isn't it? The black cube. Okay. The black cube's a device that this for everyone to know about. It's a very high level device that can be used to block things. So yeah. Yeah, it's coming off, but yeah, it's interesting right now. I'm feeling a different authority as we're coming to the end. I'm actually feeling there is an authority to break things right now. So I'm seeing some very cloudy, heavy bars over people's minds and over, yeah, it's interesting what I'm seeing right now. It's like metal chains, gosh. Yeah, they're pretty heavy. So yeah, is anyone feeling right now like a heaviness or blockage in their life? Just let me know, because I think that there's obviously a few people. Just type in the chat, because we'll just do I'm going to do some work to smash this. Avril, yeah. Yeah, there's some very heavy druid and witchcraft and black magic work. Whew. These guys have been busy. On all of you, or some of you especially. Yeah. Yeah. There's a being with a large ball of energy in his hand, Christine Orby says. Is it a light being or is it someone else? Yeah. Gabriel, yeah. Yeah. Natasha getting a headache. Yeah, me too, Natasha. Yeah, it's Gabriel. That's exactly what I was told. So Gabriel, by the power of the Holy Spirit, and in the name of Yeshua, and to the glory of God the Father, and the authority vested in of the scepter of Moses and the power of Elijah in me, we release that light and break these chains of the highest priority of each and every person in all levels and all dimensions now. Okay. Release the chains of Satan off people right now. This heaviness that's weighing them down. And release people into freedom through the name of Yeshua and by the order of Enoch and the power of the Christ and in the office of the Christ. Yeah, some of you are going to get led this week just into really just yeah, and this is a week, the message I'm getting is to really let the blood of Jesus right now. Some of you, this week, you're going to have to really open yourself up and you're going to be led to sort some things out in your life. That's the message I'm getting. So the work started today. I've just done a release, but the message I'm getting is some of you may feel it instantaneously, but I just get this message that for some of you, you're going to be given instructions or messages this week. What I am seeing is I'm seeing the chain of Satan that is starting to build around the earth. I will say this, and I'm seeing that some of that you're being released from this, and it's very important to step out of that. So what I'm being shown is that I'm seeing now, I can explain what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing like a chain of Satan that's being wrapped around the earth bit by bit and taking over and taking control of the energy of earth. So I'm seeing now that people like you and those who listen are being pulled out of that energy, pulled out from that chain. So the key to being free of this chain and this heaviness is you must come out from under that, which means the attachment to the matter, attachment to the things around you, attachment to the things of the world, and really setting your focus on the higher things and doing the higher work and doing the energy work, if that makes sense. So I'm seeing a release happening, but I'm seeing it's happening slower than I'd like. But I'm being told that there's a reason for this. They could do it instantly, but I'm getting told that quite a lot of you have got to start addressing certain things in your life around attachments, is what I'm being told. And we're doing this for your protection because the chain of Satan is being built. Joseph Smith, in his writings, he said in the book of Moses, and that He said he saw Satan wrapping a chain around the earth, and he saw him laughing and his angels rejoicing. And that's the vision that I'm seeing right now. I'm just seeing Satan wrapping his chain around the earth, and he's moving quickly to take control of the energy of the earth. And just so you know, he's succeeding. And the only way out is to actually pull out your energy from that and be in a higher vibrational way of being. So what I'm going to do now is activate this code in each and every one of you again. I feel now just to, so just share what you're feeling now, everyone. Just while I'm activating this code, just tell me what you're feeling. Wow. Carol, determination. Avril, blissful, letting go. Yep. Yeah. They've released a lot of demons out of people. Christine's feeling like, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of minds have been cleared now. They're clearing a lot. There's a lot being cleared out tonight. I can tell you, you will feel the difference. So just take it easy tonight. Just go and have a nice bath or a nice shower. Have a nice, drink. Just take it really easy. Before you go to bed, just really think of some intention. Just give thanks for the high vibrational energy that protects you as you sleep. I feel to end it now. I feel that it's ended for the night. But yeah, look, that went way beyond anything I could have asked or thought for to happen tonight. So I'm really grateful to them, and just send a lot of love to Michael, to Gabriel, to Uriel, to Raphael. A lot of love to Christ, to Moses. So yeah, just send light and love to all of them, to the Father, to the Ancient of Days, to Yeshua, Jesus. Just send lots of love out of your heart and gratitude and thankfulness. Yeah, so just send lots of love to them for and thank them, because they love appreciation. They love it because then they direct the energy to the Father and to Melchizedek, and the light goes to Melchizedek, and then they can keep feeding more back to you. To just send them lots of love. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. And we'll see you next time.